Welcome back to Serenity. My name is Sarah and I talk all about tea here. I'm going to be doing another tea latte recipe video for you today, this time on DAVIDsTEA's salted caramel oolong. It just makes the absolute best latte I've ever tasted. It is so good. I have shared it with quite a few different people now and it's been a massive hit each time, so I thought it would be a good one to share. It's a little bit complicated, but you could definitely simplify it. I'm just going to show you the exact way that I do mine, so if you want to try it out my way, you can. I have been doing my tea lattes a little bit differently recently. I've been doing them cold steeped, and I say cold steeped because I don't initially start off with a cold steep. So what I do, and I'll show you because I actually filmed starting this latte earlier this morning, I actually use a little bit of hot water to start, but what I do is I pour in just enough to cover the tea leaves, and then it dissolves any sugars or anything else that you want melted into your tea. And then after it cools, I pour the milk in, and then I stick it in the fridge and I let it sit there all day long. That way, when I froth my milk, not only am I getting my tea latte, but I'm getting the flavor infused all through the froth as well, and it is just so good that way. So I actually did film prepping it this morning, so I'll just cut to that and show you what I did. So I'm doing my latte on DAVIDsTEA's salted caramel oolong. I tried this tea initially from the advent calendar that I got as a gift from my sister, and I had it hot and plain, and I was pretty underwhelmed. I was not quite understanding what all the fuss was about on this tea, but I had already purchased a couple bags that actually arrived at the exact same time as I got the advent calendar. So I already had it in my stock, and I was like, oh well, it's not the greatest, but that's okay. But then I made it as a latte and I understood what it was actually meant for. Because not all teas need to be drank hot and plain. Some teas are just meant to be lattes. They're just so good that way, and this one is definitely one of them. So when you actually open it, all you smell is what you would imagine salted caramel candies to be. It's just got probably one of the best smells of any teas. Like, my mouth is actually watering as I'm smelling it here. I wish I could eat it. It's one of those teas that looks really intriguing when you see it loose leaf. And then when the smell hits you, you're just like sold. Let's see if you can see this. So there's a lot to this tea. Big chunks of caramel, and of course the oolong all rolled up. The ingredients on this one are oolong tea, caramel bits, giant caramel bits, sugar crystals, pineapple, carob, chicory root, artificial caramel flavoring, and salt. So I'm really excited to share with you how I like to make the lattes because I've had such good responses to them. I've actually recently repurchased another bag because I've already gone through one bag. This is my second one, already partially used. And I was worried it was gonna disappear off the website again. So I grabbed one on my last order, which I have sitting upstairs waiting to be unboxed. I try to save those for you guys because they're probably my favorite videos to film. To get this latte started, you need a few different things. First, you need your tea. Then you need your milk of choice. I've been liking just normal milk more lately. Then in this one, I actually added in 1/4 chocolate milk. It just really pairs nicely with the salted caramel vibe. Salted caramel chocolate, like how can you go wrong? And then you of course need your kettle so that you can initially melt any sugar crystals or anything when you start your cold steep. And then you need something to cold steep in. I used my Hario cold steeper from Amazon. I love this thing. It works so good. I use it all the time. Well, one of my favorite things to do is tea ciders with Lone Tree apple cider. I got this going about 7 this morning, so it's been steeping for quite a while now. And that's kind of what you need to start with. So I'm actually going to get this going for you. I've got my Breville milk frother here. I'm gonna do something a little extra today too. I'm gonna add a salted caramel matcha shot to my tea latte to give me a little bit of extra energy this afternoon. Plus, this stuff is delicious. It's very, very sweet. So if you were to drink this on its own, I would probably recommend cutting it with a straight matcha, but it is so, so delicious. I've just recently started getting into matchas, and I am so happy that I did that big stockpile back in November when they had all those matcha sales on. I've got so many different flavors. There's still a few I haven't even tried yet, but this one I've definitely tried. I've also repurchased this. This is also coming in another order as well. You'll see me unbox that hopefully someday soon. Oh, and also I am totally gonna make this into a spiked latte. I bought myself salted caramel Baileys. I may have done this a few times already, and it may be incredibly good. Okay, so milk frother ready. My Breville milk frother actually heats the milk while it froths it. If you don't have a frother that heats, then you can just like preheat your milk on the stove. That would work totally fine too, because these things are definitely not cheap. And the handheld little frothers work pretty good for a lot of people as well. So it all just depends on what you have. But this is what I like. It gets everything frothed up for me. I don't have to hold the buzzing milk frother. That often actually hurts my hands. So this is kind of nice. Just heats it, froths it, all good. The cool thing about this Hario cold steeper is it does have a filter, so I can just pour directly into my milk frother and it will filter out all of the tea leaves. Looks like all of my caramel melted in there. Okay. And then I'm gonna add, it's basically 1.5 ounces of salted caramel Baileys right into it so that I get the flavor infused all through the froth and everything. Plus you can't go too heavy on salted caramel Baileys. All right, so while this is frothing, I'm gonna go get my water heated up to the appropriate green tea temperature, and I will whisk up my matcha for my matcha shot in this latte as well. I have never done the Baileys and the matcha at once. I've always done them separately, so I guess this is a little bit of an experiment too. I'm thinking it's gonna be a good experiment. I've got it set to optimum milk temperature, and all I have to do is click the button and it will heat and froth for me. All right, time to get that water going. Both of them beeped at once. That was terrifying. All right, so my milk is frothed and my water's heated. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get my matcha shot going here. I love this little matcha bowl. I bought it as an impulse buy on the Black Friday weekend, and I was just so much more happy with it in person than I was in the picture. I thought I was just gonna like think it was okay, but I got it and I like it so much. It's so pretty in person. And then I got my whisk. I got my spoon, and I got my water. So I don't go very heavy for matcha shots. I just do 1 matcha spoon, and that's good enough for me. And I just do just enough water to dissolve it. So bright green, you can see sugar crystals in it. Smells good. So I heated my water up to green tea temperature. That's one nice thing about these Brevilles. And my whisk. I really enjoy the preparation of matcha. It's just like so peaceful and fun. I've tried to make matcha lattes in my actual Breville milk frother there, but for some reason, when I add matcha powder to it, I never get a very good froth. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, because I've seen other people use the exact same machine and just get an incredible froth. So I don't know what's up with that. All right, looks all dissolved. This is my brand new double-walled glass Nordic. DAVIDsTEA actually gifted this to me in the care package that they sent me. I was so excited to have another mug that I could do my reviews with. It is just the perfect mug for reviews because you can see everything in it, and it's double-walled, so it'll keep my latte warmer longer. So I will just pour my little mini matcha shot into my mug down at the bottom there. I seem to be short on actual plastic spoons, so I'll use a plastic fork to keep my froth from dumping out all over the place here. Oh, that smells nice. Oh man, look at that frothy goodness. Filled with Baileys and chocolate and salted caramel tea. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's looking pretty good, but I have a couple other little extras that I like to add. I got a Torani sauce, and it's salted chocolate caramel, and it just is like so good on these lattes. I just keep saying that, but it's because it's so true. And then the last thing I got was salted caramel chocolate topper. There's this like super cute little cheese store out in Agassiz, British Columbia, and they sell like random little cool things in there. They have a few different flavored honeys, they have a few teas. I bought some tea from them, but it was no DAVIDsTEA. But then I found this, and at first I didn't realize what it was, but I have been wanting a salted caramel chocolate topper for this exact purpose, so I was really excited when I found this. They probably thought I was a little nuts how excited I got over it. All right, as you can see, my chocolate is overflowing my latte. Just more goodness to have. Oop, touched it. Let's give this a taste, if I can even get to it. Oh man, that tastes like candy. That is so good. I'm getting chocolate all over myself and I don't even care. It is delicious. The matcha shot is just adding a little hint extra to it. The Baileys is really giving it a nice kick. You can leave the Baileys out. This latte is just as good without it, but I just felt like having a little extra kick this afternoon. It's been a week. Yeah. So good. It's like restaurant quality good. And I think part of the trick is the long cold steep, because you just get all the flavor all through your froth, and it makes a really big difference in my opinion. It's just fantastic. This is probably my favorite tea to have as a latte now. Previously, Lavender Swirl was #1 with lavender buttercream as a close second, but I think this tea might have stolen the show. I think this might be #1 now. Especially with all the extras that you can add to it, like the chocolate milk, adding a chocolate sauce, adding salted caramel bits on top, adding Baileys to spike it. There's just so much that you can do with this tea, and it's wonderful. DAVIDsTEA really did a good job on this one. I would have never thought that tea could be translated into a delicious latte the way that they have managed to do it. And it really just opened my eyes to a whole new way of appreciating tea. It's been really fun to learn these new things. So thank you, DAVIDsTEA, for putting together such a delicious tea so that I could have this amazing latte. A quick recap on the things that I used: salted caramel oolong from DAVIDsTEA, milk, a little bit of chocolate milk, salted caramel Baileys, salted caramel matcha shot, Then I drizzled it into Ronnie's salted chocolate caramel sauce. And lastly, I sprinkled on some salted caramel chocolate topper. So that was all the components to this mug of magic. A lot went into this, but it sure tastes like a lot went into it. Like, it is so good. We're actually having a super, super nice day. I'm gonna go outside with my latte and read my book in the sun. Flowers just started blooming in my backyard, so I think they're a little bit confused because it's only the beginning of March, but spring is on its way, thank goodness. I know a lot of you across the rest of the continent have had a super crazy winter. I've had an extremely mild winter. It's been wonderful. If you've tried DAVIDsTEA's salted caramel oolong as a latte, I'd love to know your method of making it and what you think about it. If you have a tea that is your #1 latte go-to, let me know what it is because I'm having so much fun experimenting with new tea lattes. They are just so delicious. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.